The world needs B2K.
B2K's breakup was a huge shock to their fans.
Boys for Life Tour.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans. Want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing compares to catching your Grizzlies IRL. And that all starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight. Put that jersey collection to use for the next game and get Grizzlies tickets at Ticketmaster. Whether they're here at FedEx Forum or on the road, Ticketmaster's got your back when it comes to scoring tickets. And there's no better brag than saying you saw it live.
Live from the Built Ford Tough studio at FedEx Forum, it's the Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Gary Parrish.
All right, I'm here. My name is Gary Parrish, speaking to you from the Built Ford Tough studio. We're in FedEx Forum, downtown Memphis. Bennett Doyle right there producing the program. Glad he's with me. Glad you're with me. Hope you're getting through the day best you can. And I hope you didn't lose all hope when the Grizz were 4-11 and down 4 point guards, because it's bounce back season, baby. Grizz won Friday, did it again on Sunday. So they're 7-2 in their past 9 games, 11-13 on the season, with Ja Morant expected to return for the next game. That's Friday here inside FedEx Forum. Let's go. We're going to feel good about things momentarily, if you don't mind. But first, quickly, let me set today's schedule for you. The next segment, Michael Eaves is going to join me. He, of course, hosts SportsCenter for ESPN. I'm going to talk to Michael, I believe, mostly about the NFL, where the Kansas City Chiefs are in trouble. Lost again last night, Sunday Night Football. What good does it do to have the best quarterback in the world if he's surrounded by dudes who can't catch footballs? I'm going to ask Michael Eaves that question. We're going to do it in about 20 minutes. Finish talking to him, take a break, come back, do 5 more things you need to know, at which point we're going to discuss 5 previously undiscussed stories. Among them, Memphis has a new football coach. His name is Charles Huff. He comes to the Tigers after a season at Southern Miss. We'll talk about Ed Scott's first big hire. We'll do that in about 40 minutes. The college football playoff bracket is set. Ole Miss is a 6th seed. Rebels going to host vulnerable Tulane in the first round down at Vaught Hemingway, and the committee nonsensically flipped Miami and Notre Dame at the last minute. We will criticize these goofies. We'll do it in just a bit. Congratulations to Penny Hardaway's Tigers. Big win this weekend here in downtown Memphis. Final score, Memphis 78, Baylor 71. So the Tigers are now on a 3-game winning streak heading into Saturday's game at Louisville. We'll celebrate what hopefully was a turning point in this season. We'll do that a little later on in the show. Wild weekend in college basketball in general. Duke won at Michigan State. Iowa State won at Purdue. There are now 4 undefeated teams that you could reasonably put atop the ballot of an AP ballot. It's Purdue. I mean, not Purdue. It's obviously Arizona. It's Michigan, it's Duke, and it's Iowa State. I'll give you some interesting numbers connected to those four schools. We'll do that in the third segment. And our old pal Desmond Bane, he went viral again this weekend for committing what was described as a, quote, hostile act with a basketball. It happened in the Magic's game against the Knicks. We'll show you that during a segment. We call 5 more things you need to know, and then we'll eventually do GP's carryout, and we'll call it a day. So that's the rundown. We got a lot to get to, but I did want to start with your Memphis Grizzlies because games 23 and 24 of a scheduled 82, they were played this weekend inside FedEx Forum. Both games produced good results. Final score on Friday, Grizzlies 107, Clippers 98. Final score on Sunday, Grizzlies 119, Trailblazers 96. So would you look at this? Exactly 18 mornings ago, the Grizzlies were 4-11 and down 4-point guards. Things were not looking good. I bet if you went back and watched those shows, we sounded kind of sad. But since then, the Grizzlies are 7-2, despite still being down 4-point guards. And this season that was starting to feel hopeless on some level just 3 weeks ago, while the Grizzlies were in the middle of losing 9 games in a 10-game stretch, now the season feels, I think, much more optimistic now that the Grizzlies are 11-13, alone in ninth in the West with 4 days off in front of them before they return to the court inside FedEx Forum on Friday for a game against the Jazz. I love those. That will presumably also represent the return to the lineup of franchise point guard Ja Morant. Put another way, the next time we watch them, they will be on a 2-game winning streak, and they should be trotting out a starting lineup featuring Ja Morant, Jalen Wells, Cedric Coward, Jaren Jackson Jr., Zach Edey for just the second time this season and for the first time since November 15th. The sun's coming out. Big Bet Bennett, good to see you on this Monday morning. Did you realize the sun is coming out?
No, I did not. I also didn't realize that it was Black Sweatshirt Day. I didn't realize it was Black Sweatshirt Day on the GP show.
I think mine is more of a sweater. I think I'm wearing more of a proper sweater.
Are you? This is just a sweatshirt.
I think I'm wearing more of a proper sweater. I'm a little more dressed up than you are today.
It looks kind of weird on the camera. Maybe we should discuss our outfits before we do the show.
Bennett, I think we're just going to go through.
We look like a theater ensemble.
I think we're going to go through our careers just hoping that we don't dress the same. But we're not going to coordinate.
That's fine.
You know, when it happens, we'll chuckle at each other.
That's fine.
But I'm not going to text with you every morning trying to figure out what you're going to wear. I got too much going on.
Fair enough.
You're lucky if I can even find my glasses when I walk out of the house in the morning.
I got you.
I don't have time to coordinate outfits with you, but you look good.
Thank you. You too.
You look good. The sun's coming out. Things are okay.
No, it was an awesome weekend.
You don't sound like it was an awesome weekend. You sound a little down.
I feel great. This is an awesome weekend, man. My basketball teams have turned it around. Got a new football coach. I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good. The Titans won. I don't feel good about that. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But yeah, things are good, man. Things are good. It was a great weekend.
It was a great weekend. Let's back up to Friday first. They beat the Clippers. The Grizzlies do 107-98. And Cedric Coward, another incredible performance for the rookie. 23 points, 14 rebounds, 5 assists. And after the game, he approached Kawhi Leonard. It was a neat moment. I'll set the scene for you. We've got Cedric Coward talking about it. We'll get to that in a second. So he's matched up against Kawhi Leonard, as you know, because of the way Cedric Coward is built. Long arms. There's been comparisons. You could Google the name Cedric Coward, Google the name Kawhi Leonard, and you're going to see those names connected by NBA draft analysts and NBA writers. Like, hey, man, I'm starting to see some Kawhi Leonard vibes here. So after the game, Cedric Coward approaches Kawhi Leonard, and I guess you don't really know what he's saying until he explains to you what he's saying, unless you happen to be, sitting next to a good lip reader. But clearly there was an interaction there, a very intentional interaction between Cedric Coward and Kawhi Leonard. And after the game, in the locker room, Cedric Coward was asked about it. And here's the way he explained what happened, according to a video published on social media by Matt Infield here in Memphis. Kyra, play it for us.
Yeah, man, I think Kawhi is one of the best of the best, and I think being able to just talk to him and, not only acknowledge his greatness, but also ask him. Like, I asked him, like, in the summer, can we get some work in together? He's not on social media, so, I got to figure out a way to talk to him. But besides that, I think, just always trying to learn from the greats and learn from those guys that you get compared to.
What'd you make of that moment?
It was awesome just because, like, obviously the comps are cool and everything, but I think it's cool that he sought him out and said, hey, let's work out this summer, because you don't, like, when you just think of, like, the great NBA players or up-and-coming NBA players, like, there's not many that you ever hear say, I want to be the next Kawhi.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, he's just not, like, the flashy player like that. He's obviously a multiple-time NBA champion, so I think they should want to be like that, and it's smart. But you don't hear that often, so it's kind of cool that he got these comps coming out of college, and he's like, yeah, I want to be like that guy. I want to be that.
Now, my initial my instincts were, you see the video of Cedric Howard approaching Kawhi, and he's clearly asking him something, talking to him something. And I was like, I wonder if he's asking him how to get one of those tree jobs.
I don't think so.
I wonder if he's like, hey, man, while I got you here, how you get that tree job where you didn't have to do nothing for all those millions of dollars? I wouldn't mind having one of those. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, I hope somebody asked Cedric in the locker room, like, did you ask Kawhi about one of those no-show tree jobs? Turns out it wasn't about the trees at all.
No.
He just wants to work out, to be around one of the all-time greats. And jokes aside, that means something to me. Cedric Howard is having an incredible rookie season. For all of the expectations that were placed upon him coming into this thing, even though almost none of us had ever seen him play meaningful basketball games, he has exceeded all reasonable expectations. He could, right now, be feeling pretty good about himself, and I'm sure he does. My point is, a different person his age, having these types of moments, already starting as a rookie and being called, a candidate to be the next great thing, not just with the Grizzlies franchise, but in the NBA in general. And after what is one of the best performances of your still young career, you find time to seek out somebody that you look up to while recognizing, I don't know when I'll be next to this person again. I don't have his cell phone number. And even if I got it, he strikes me as the type of person who might just not even respond. But I got him here right now. He's right there. And I'm going to walk over to him and not just dap him up and be like, great game, whatever. But, hey, man, I'd like to get with you. I'd like to learn from you. I know it was very brief. You can only say so many words in that moment. But the takeaway is that Cedric Howard recognized, I have an opportunity to connect with somebody that I wouldn't mind being like someday, as a two-time world champion, two-time finals MVP, who, can do this, do that, do this, do that, but more than anything, can do everything at such a high level and impact winning in a way that is hard to match for anybody in the NBA when he is healthy and operating at his peak of potential. I don't know if it's still true in December 2025, but it was still true not too long ago. As infrequently as Kawhi was at 100% or something close to that, when he was on the court and something close to what he's supposed to be, he was still operating like somebody who could impact the game on both ends in ways that very few people can.
Yep.
I love the idea that the Grizzlies have invested in a young man who recognizes, maybe I can learn something from that person. Because sometimes this breaks the other way. You get a young person who's having an incredible amount of success early in his career, and you can start to think, I've got this figured out. I don't need to hear it from this person or that person. I know what I'm doing. I like that he still is carrying himself in an incredibly humble way and recognizing, if I could ever get next to that guy, It might be little things, but there's got to be some things I can pick up on. I like it when successful, driven people want to get in the room with other people who have already done the things you're trying to do. It doesn't always benefit you in big, tangible ways, but I rarely think it can hurt. And I like Cedric Coward doing that on his own. I don't think that's his coaching staff or his parents telling him, hey, you need to go do this in that moment. This is something he recognized on his own, and that's a terrific sign. So nice win on Friday night. Nice moment on Friday night. Then you get to Sunday, beat the Blazers 119-96, led by 26, win it by 23. Zach Edey, 12 points, 10 rebounds in that one. 5 double-doubles for him in 11 appearances. And he's now averaging 13.6 points and 11.1 boards per game on the season. Now, he hasn't played enough games to qualify for any of the traditional NBA stats. So like when you go to ESPN.com, CBSSports.com, look at rebounding leaders, you're not going to see him there because he doesn't have enough appearances yet in this season. But if his numbers did qualify, he would be one of only 5 players in the NBA right now, averaging at least 13.6 and at least 11.1. There's only 5 dudes doing that. You know, one of them is Nikola Jokic. One of them is Karl Anthony Towns. And one of them is also Zach Edey. He, if his numbers counted, would be the 4th leading rebounder in the NBA right now. So just like we talked about last week, he has already developed into one of the best centers in the world. And still early, sure, but it really does look like. And we didn't just learn this weekend, but Friday night combined with Sunday, I think provided some confirmation. The Grizzlies have hit on their past 2 lottery picks. Like if you could undo them, you would not. You've got the 2 guys that have an opportunity to really lead you to some good stuff. And now it's a matter of getting John Jaren on the court with them consistently and seeing if this thing can really turn into what you hope it can turn into. But man, given where we were just a few weeks ago, it's nice to be here. Like it doesn't feel like this is headed to a bad place. It feels like fingers crossed and you never know and all that stuff. But hopefully the worst of this season is behind us. The turmoil in the locker room, the losses on the court, 4-11 through 15 with 4 point guards out. That's when it felt, man, I don't know if this is going to get straightened out enough to get them where they want to go. But again, 7-2 in the past 9, now just 2 games under 500, and the Utah Jazz are coming into your building. You've handled teams like them without exception so far this season. So there's a scenario, a likely one. We go to bed on Friday night, having watched Ja Morant make his return to the Grizzlies, and then they're just one more win away from 500. Didn't look like you were going to be there, in the middle of December just 3 weeks ago, but given where you are right now, with Ja Morant presumably on his way back, this is it's a better position to be in than the position we found ourselves in not too long ago. I'll take it. Michael Eaves is up next.
The only thing better than Saturday Night Hoops is when it comes with an exclusive Grizz hoodie. Every Saturday this season, $60 gets you a Grizzlies ticket and a limited edition Grizzlies hoodie. 4 different hoodie designs dropping across 4 Saturday games. Not sold anywhere else. Don't miss your shot to collect all 4 designs. Grab your tickets and gear up now at grizzlies.com/Saturday.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Now that's the new edition way.
I feel like there's another level we can take it to.
What you think, Mike?
2 steps ahead of you, Slick.
What's good, bro?
What you doing, man?
I'm in.
Woman, you don't even know what I'm getting ready to ask you. Here's the vision.
all three of us on the same stage every night.
Gonna be crazy.
No barriers, no separation.
It'll be like 9 kings and a queen.
The next level starts now.
In the 7 games that he has played, they have been the best rebounding team and the best assist team in the NBA. And a lot of that goes to Vince Williams, who has been Rondo.
Vince Rondo, man.
But this is 100% attributable to Zach Edey.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Jeff Dunham, Artificial Intelligence, his all-new tour.
Just don't have. You're the other white meat.
How can you be so smart on one hand and so stupid on the other? Well, you're half of it.
I realize I could have avoided all this years ago with one simple word. I do not. Silence!
Don't miss a Memphis. Friday, April 10th, FedEx Forum. Tickets on sale Monday, September 29th at jeffdunham.com.
Welcome back, Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South. We're inside the Built Ford Tough Studio on Mondays in the second segment. I'm joined by Michael Eaves, who, of course, among other things, hosts Sports Center for ESPN. He's here right now. Michael Eaves, it's GP. How are you on this Monday?
I'm good, man. I'm in one of those situations, Gary, where you find yourself trying to keep up with yourself. Last week I was in Miami for the DJ Khaled golf tournament, plus Malbon, plus Dean Wade and Darrell Wright had an event, 3 straight days of golf. Come home, now I got Sports Center, my real job. Right. I've got Booyah events for Stuart Scott Tuesday and Wednesday down in New York. And then next week I go to LA for 4 days. So yeah, I am in the middle of trying to keep up with myself.
So talk to me first, and we'll get to the NFL in a second, but the Booyah Gala is happening in New York City, I believe over the next couple of days. And then there's a new 30 for 30 that's premiering on Wednesday night on ESPN about one of the great and iconic SportsCenter anchors of all time, who also doubles as one of your best friends in the world, Stuart Scott, who of course was taken from us far too early and this hit me when I saw it this morning because I just wanted to confirm the number. 49, man. That's like I'm 48. You know that got me pretty good.
It kind of hits you when you put it in a context because he would have turned 50 that summer in 2015. But so it's for me, I'm so looking forward to Wednesday because that is the night we raise the most money for Stuart's fund, his Memorial Cancer Research Fund, which gears the funding towards ending racial disparities in cancer. I'll just give you a quick couple numbers here. Black men die of prostate cancer 2 to 3 times the rate of white men. Black women have a higher rate of mortality from breast cancer than white women, even though black women get it less. And then if you take Hispanic people, they also get cervical cancer 2 to 3 times the rate of white women. Stomach cancer, liver cancer, also at a higher rate compared to other racial groups. And so there are these disparities that exist in cancer research and cancer treatment. And Stuart's Fund takes money and looks specifically at those issues, try to find a way to correct them and improve lives going forward. And one perfect example of this had to do with prostate cancer for black men specifically. One of the doctors who was one of our grantees from the Booyah Fund, he recognized that the predominant test that was given to men to see if they had prostate cancer missed a major factor when it came to black men. He was able to isolate it. He got more funding, and then they were able to come up with a brand new test that is given to black men to make sure that the numbers they see in the one test are equitable to the one they see in the second test to get a better detection rate for black men when it comes to prostate cancer. Because if you are a man and you get prostate cancer and you detect it early, it is one of the easiest cancers, to survive. All it becomes about is detection because the treatment is pretty standard. But if you don't know you have it for a long time, then it becomes a different ballgame. So that's one of the success stories from the Stuart Memorial Cancer Fund that is giving like real life change. But then that same night, you said, Gary, on Wednesday, ESPN is debuting its new 30 for 30, and that's the life of Stuart Scott, because his life was so impactful in many different ways. Like what we do now is about his cancer research. But before, he was one of the most impactful, iconic sports media personalities of all time. In fact, and I said this last night on SportsCenter, if you were to put together a team, Gary, of the most important people at ESPN, and especially if you're talking on-air talents, Stewart's in the starting five.
Yes.
It's not even a question, right? That was his impact on the industry as a whole, but also the culture and getting more people of color to tune into SportsCenter and younger people to watch sports. He was the Tiger Woods of sports media television. He got more black people involved, and he got younger people watching SportsCenter at a time when they weren't, and that was his impact just in the industry alone. So Wednesday is going to be a huge night, and it debuts 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 Central on ESPN and also Disney Plus.
Michael, I hope people know how true what you're saying is, because I still hear it sometimes. I'm watching one highlight show or another. There's a million of them out there now. And I hear somebody, and I'm like, they're trying to be Stuart Scott. They're trying to, get these little catchphrases in. And it feels forced sometimes. But like with Stuart, like he had little white kids like me running around yelling booyah and stuff.
Exactly.
I mean, it really resonated in a way that I don't think you can make sense of unless you live through it. Do you have a theory on why he worked the way he worked?
Because he was so original.
Yeah.
And those who are great end up having some type of originality. It makes you take notice, right? And, Stuart was only like 7 years older than me. But, we were also listening to the same music, watching the same movies, things of that nature. So some of the references he was making was some of the references my friends and I were making in our conversations. And I was just starting my TV career in 1994, actually. And so I would sometimes use something on a local sportscast in Lexington, and then Stuart would say something similar or the exact same thing on SportsCenter. I was like, oh, that's my people. We're from the same generation. We're from the same culture. And we're consuming the sports content and discussing it in the same way. And what he did was he showed that you can be yourself and do it in a way that may be non-traditional and still be successful, and allowed other people to try to do the same thing. And you're right. I do think sometimes people try to be Stuart Scott the same way people tried to be Howard Cosell back in the day, or other greats, not just in this industry, but others. And there's never going to be another Stuart Scott. But if someone says, hey, man, I saw your stuff the other night, you remind me of Stuart Scott. To me, if you say that about me, I'm extremely humbled by that, because I could not be him, but I could be a pretty good Michael Eaves, and we just have some similarities in that regard.
Why do you think, and then we'll talk NFL, his name still resonates 10 years after he's passed? Honestly, I say this not just because you're in front of me. I think you've done a wonderful job as his colleague and friend of helping keep his memory alive. I know his family must appreciate that immensely, but I don't have any illusions that 10 years after I leave this world, anybody's even going to remember my name. Most of us don't matter that much, but he still matters today. Why?
Here's one thing about people in general. We may not remember what you did. We may not remember everything you said, but we will remember how you made us feel. And Stuart made it fun to watch sports on television, not just the games, like the show, SportsCenter, or it was NBA Countdown or Monday NFL Countdown. Like his approach, it made it fun. Like you wanted to watch him have a good time doing sports. So he made you feel some type of way. And that's what you remember. You remember him making you feel connected to something that maybe you hadn't felt before. And especially with some of the references, he's listening to the same music you were, Gary, when you were a teenager, right? And then you hear those lines in a SportsCenter, it gives you a connection to it. And that's what you feel, and that's what you remember. And that's why so many people remember him in such high regard, as they should.
Booyah, A Portrait of Stuart Scott is going to premiere Wednesday night on ESPN. I can't wait to watch it. Let's talk NFL. Kansas City Chiefs, Sunday Night Football. They lose again, 20-10. They're now in a tough spot, not mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, but they don't control their own destiny anymore. It's unlikely that we're going to see them. How did they go from AFC champs once again to this?
Everything ends at some point.
Yeah.
And that process of ending can be different. Sometimes it can be very abrupt. Sometimes it can be piece by piece. Things start falling off. You don't get them corrected, and then it stops working. Here's the truth about the Kansas City Chiefs. They still have a roster full of great talent. They're just not a good team. They're not. And last night they showed their signs of being desperate. And Andy Reid made decisions from a position of desperation. And when you are desperate, you tend to make hasty, poor decisions. And Andy Reid admitted that after the game, that it was a bad decision to go for that 4th down from their own 30. But also as an athlete, you end up making plays that you wouldn't make otherwise because you feel that desperation, and maybe you're tense, or maybe you're trying to do too much, and you're Travis Kelce, you're trying to catch a ball, but you're looking in a different direction, right? And then it leads to 2 drops, and one of them being an interception that ended up killing the game. Or maybe Patrick Mahomes is not making that same throw he did. Maybe he squeezed a little tighter. It's like, I got to get it in there. Well, when you operate from there, you're not going to be successful. And they're just not a good team. And here's the deal. The math is there. It is possible. But as I said to Tim Hasselbeck last night, nothing we have seen from them this year, leading up to this point through 13 games, tells you they are capable of winning these next 4 in a row. There's no recent history. Now, if you want to go back and say this is Patrick Mahomes, this is a team that's won multiple Super Bowls, sure. But the immediacy says no way they're going to win these 4 straight games.
I run into this every season in college basketball. There's a team that's just on the wrong side of the bubble, and they're supposed to be good, but they're clearly not, and they haven't been for a while. And somebody will be like, GP, but if we win the next 4, are we good? And I'm like, if you were capable of winning the next 4, you wouldn't be in the situation you're in right now.
Exactly.
That's what it feels like with the Kansas City Chiefs. 6 drops last night. That's the most of the Mahomes era. Kelce had 2 in the 4th quarter. It's sort of sad to see it unfold like this. And if this is the way it ends, it's not what he imagined, but whether it's Tom Brady throwing interceptions or Travis Kelce dropping balls, this is usually the way these things go, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's very rare that a dynasty ends successfully, right? And if it does, it means someone significant left. So Tom Brady left New England, John Elway left Denver, right? So those things were good, and then those particular guys were gone, and it was over. But Patrick Mahomes is still in his prime. Right. Travis Kelce, although it's the end of his career, he's still one of the best tight ends in the game, right? And they got Chris Jones, who's a tremendous defensive lineman. They've got skilled guys out there, but for whatever reason, they don't have it this year collectively. And that's what you that's what you need if you're going to be a team that is successful. You can have great talent, but if they don't come together in some cohesive unit, then it doesn't matter. And that's what the Chiefs look like this year. They look very disheveled.
Elsewhere in the AFC, just a few weeks ago, Daniel Jones and the Colts, they were 8-2 and like atop some NFL power rankings. Now they're on a 3-game losing streak, and Daniel Jones has a torn Achilles. He is done for the season. Cruel sport, huh?
Life comes at you fast, man.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. The Colts came out of nowhere fast. Before this losing streak you were talking about, we're like, whoa, the Colts, where do they come from? The way they're playing, they're putting up all these points, look like the Rams back in 1999, 2000. Okay, cool. This is the squad. And then all of a sudden, life happens. And unfortunately for Daniel Jones, he already had the fibula issue with his one leg, and then ends up tearing his Achilles in his other leg last night. Sometimes winning is not in your control whatsoever because of injuries and things of that nature. And it's unfortunate for the Colts. And think about this for the city of Indianapolis, right? At one point, they were the number 1 seed in the AFC. It was like, oh, they may go back to the AFC Championship game for the first time since, Peyton Manning was there or Andrew Luck. And then he tears his Achilles. Tyrese Halliburton last year with the Pacers had them in the NBA Finals with a chance to win, something even Reggie Miller couldn't do when he's with the Pacers, and he tears his Achilles. Like, my heart goes out to Indianapolis fans because your 2 best players in the span of only a few months end up tearing their Achilles when you're trying to win a championship.
Absolutely heartbreaking. In Buffalo, they're 9-4 now, beat the Bengals yesterday. It's interesting. We've always talked about the AFC as like, it's Josh Allen, it's Joe Burrow, it's Lamar Jackson, it's Patrick Mahomes. If we started the playoffs today, Josh Allen would look, it'd be the Will Smith meme or where you look around and it's like, yo, where's everybody? Right now, Lamar Jackson probably not going to get there. Joe Burrow, not going to get there. Patrick Mahomes, unlikely to get there. Does that in a weird way put more pressure on Josh Allen? Like, yo, man, this has opened up for you. You don't have to go through those monsters. Go get it done now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It does. Whether it's fair or not, you're right. Because if he's the only one of those quarterbacks you mentioned that makes the playoffs in the AFC, and whether they have to go on the road to play the Broncos or even the Patriots at some point, no one would think that Josh Allen shouldn't win those games, right? And so if he doesn't, now you start to look at Josh Allen. And again, maybe that's unfair, but that's how sports is, and that's how narratives get built. It's about who's the best player and how is he not beating this other guy who's not on his level, whether it's Drake May or Bo Nix, whomever it is. In this case, this is his best opportunity since he's been in the league, most likely, to get to the Super Bowl. And same thing with Lamar Jackson, how he's had these opportunities, and we look at him some type of way because he hasn't been able to pull through. You're going to look at Josh Allen the same way.
Last thing on the NFL tonight, Monday Night Football. Like, we watch these games no matter what by the millions, but they're more interesting when they've got interesting stories connected to them. Last night, the Chiefs really needing a win. That was nice. Tonight, you get the Eagles, 2-game losing streak, reigning Super Bowl champs. Big questions about their offense. They really need to get one tonight just to quiet things down, don't they?
They do, and they need to get it. I think they need to do it for themselves. Yeah. I mean, I know there's a lot of external pressure on them, obviously, not just within the city of Philadelphia, but also everywhere else because they won the Super Bowl last year. But, like, at times this season, they look like the team that should be defending a title can go win it again. Then all of a sudden, they kind of look like the Chiefs and, like, we got all this talent, but we can't win a game. Like, who are we for real? And I think they need to sort of confirm their own identity, and they need a win to do that. I understand defending a title is hard, and you have all these ebbs and flows during the season. But once you get to this point, Gary, where you're towards the end, and you need momentum typically going into the playoffs if you're going to be a team that goes all the way to the Super Bowl. And the Eagles are in desperate need of some momentum, and it only starts with wins. Regardless of how ugly it is for them right now, they need a W, and hopefully, for their sake, it gets better. But they are not the team a lot of people thought they would be at this point in the season.
Last thing before I get you out of here. I know the whole world is focused, or at least the whole country's focused on football, but in the NBA, the Oklahoma City Thunder are now 23-1. Their winning percentage is .958. They're on pace to go like 78-4, and Jalen Williams has only played 5 games. What are we watching here? Like, are they about to smash Golden State's record?
You know, it's funny. We were obviously we had the highlight last night in sports, and I blew up the Jazz with that SGA. But I said before this, is this the most overlooked 22-1 team of all time?
Crazy.
I'm like, I've never remember a team this good at this point in the season getting less talked about, and they just won the championship the year before. I mean, I hate to say it's a product of, being in, small markets and all that trash, because SGA is literally the first or second best player in the league right now, right? It's not even a question. And we're not giving them enough love. But to answer your question, Gary, I don't know what we're looking at, because some of it doesn't make sense because of how well they play without Jalen Williams to start the season, and then how well they can still play when SGA is not in uniform as well. Like we said last year, could this be the beginning of an ultimate run for this franchise? And as of right now, hell, it looks like it, because, like, what else is it? If the best team in the league last year is now this right now, how can they not be set for something that could be epic in the near future? Because if you look at the totality of their roster, they have everything you want. They have one of the best players in the world. They got one of the best complementary players in the world. They've got role players. And, oh, by the way, they do play defense. Yeah. So, I mean, look, I don't bet, but if you want to guarantee some stuff, they're making the playoffs. They're probably going to the finals. This question if they win it again.
Yeah, that is Michael Eaves from ESPN. Make sure you follow him on X at Michael Eaves. And Mike, God bless you for keeping your friend Stuart Scott's memory alive in all the ways that you do. I hope you have a wonderful week, and we're looking forward to the 30 for 30 on Wednesday night.
I appreciate it. By the way, if you want to donate to his fund, go to v.org/Stuart. Every dollar goes directly to cancer research.
You're a good friend. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it.
All right, man.
Bye-bye. Michael Eaves from ESPN. Yeah, the Oklahoma City thing is just sort of flying under the radar because, we've got a college football playoff and an NFL season. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, this is outrageous. They don't lose.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to call me a hater. It's because it's not exciting. It doesn't people the Steph, Draymond, Clay Warriors teams, those were exciting teams. Yeah. Like, they hit a bunch of threes. Yeah. They were wild. Like, it was Draymond was going crazy. Like, it was exciting. This is not exciting. It's just I'm just calling it like it is.
They just win.
Yeah.
They just beat you.
They're really good. They beat you, but like it doesn't nobody gets fired up for it.
That's fair.
Yeah,
I mean, I saw a clip the other night. I guess it was SGA. The Thunder had just beaten somebody. I believe they were on the road, and he was taking a minute to sign some autographs and stuff. And there was some guy like heckling him, like you're too good to do this. You know,
the foul stuff. Yeah.
And like that has become like just that's a part of their story.
Him. Yeah, I mean,
like if you were doing
he's
like,
still a great player. By the way, I say that with caveat.
Like I don't think you could take the Oklahoma City Thunder and do a Saturday Night Live skit about them in this way, because I don't think most of the people who watch SNL would be familiar with. Oh, is that the team with the guy who just gets fouled all the time and goes to the free throw line? Like, I don't think that's a thing SNL's crowd.
Right.
No. But if you were doing a Oklahoma City Thunder skit on SNL, that would be a part of it.
Yeah.
The way, you know, when they're impersonating Trump, they have the tie hanging down to his knee and they exaggerate everything. Like, that's a part of the Thunder story is SGA, foul merchant, and I guess by extension, not exciting. I get all that. That's an accurate assessment. But like the numbers are the numbers. They don't lose. And there's some thought that their dominance could negatively impact the Giannis trade market, because there are franchises out there who in a different time might say, yeah, I'll give you everything you could possibly want to get that guy so we can go win the championship. But the issue now is, and this is a question you have to honestly ask yourself, even if we get that guy, can we win the championship?
Yeah.
Because of them. I want to be clear, I wouldn't look at it that way. If getting Giannis makes me the second best team in the NBA, then I'm trying to be the second best team in the NBA, and then let's go play them in a 7-game series and see if Jalen Williams pulls a hamstring.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, we went to a Game 7 last year, and Tyrese Halliburton tore his Achilles at the beginning of the game.
Just get me in the fight, and then I'll see where I'm at. But that sounds crazy to me. Like, if I can get Giannis and it makes sense, I don't think I'm saying, well, are we even going to be better than the Thunder? And if not, what's the point? I'm like, are we going to be better than everybody other than the Thunder? If so, that's the point. Let's do this. And then we'll get into a 7-game series with them and, you know, let's fight them. You don't know.
No, the Pacers did it and had a chance to win it all.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So I don't know that it will negatively impact Giannis's trade market, but there are people who cover the NBA for a living who think that it might, because
I get that.
The argument is, why mortgage your future for Giannis when you're just at best going to finish, if you're a Western Conference team, second in the West to them, or an Eastern Conference team, losing the finals to them. I just think that's a defeatist attitude. If I can be the second best team in the world by adding Giannis reasonably, then that's what I want to be. And then I'll go try to upset the best team in the world in a 7-game series. They're awesome, though.
They are awesome.
They are awesome.
It's annoying.
It is annoying.
I think we play them pretty soon. Yeah.
I was hoping we wouldn't.
Yeah, they're coming up on the schedule.
Wouldn't it be nice if we didn't have to, though?
It's there, too. It's in Oklahoma City.
Wouldn't it be nice if we could just skip that? We're starting to feel good about ourselves.
Oh, I still feel good.
We're starting to feel good about ourselves. Maybe just skip that.
No, I'm actually looking forward to that game now because we're competitive.
Yeah, I remember you looking forward to game 1 of the first round of the playoffs last year, too.
And then Lou Dort undercut Ja Morant and ruined the whole series.
That was game 3.
We were up by 1 million points.
I just think I learned my lesson about looking forward to games against the Oklahoma City Thunder. You know, you ain't going to get me to touch the stove twice.
Yeah.
You know, I know how hot the stove is. So I'm not looking forward to the game against Oklahoma.
I want to see where we stack up at full power. Well, we still won't be at full power because we won't have Ty Jerome or Scotty or BC back at that point. But still, we'll be closer than we've ever been.
I'm more eager to see how we stack up against the Jazz.
Okay. Well, you get your chance this Friday night.
Those are the ones I like.
Buddy.
I'm pretty eager to see how we stack up against the Wizards.
Their coach went off on them last night. I don't know if you saw that clip.
If you were the coach of the Wizards, you'd go off on him too?
No, on the Jazz coach.
Oh, yeah, of course. He's always going off.
Yeah.
He's always mad. It's like he's by all accounts is a competent, good coach.
Yep.
But never has a team. And it's like
they need to help him.
I know at some point, just for his mental health. They need to help him.
Yeah.
I know what they're telling him. Buddy, just get through one more year of this, and we're going to get you a Darren Peters.
Yeah.
All right? get through one more year of this, and we're going to try to get
But you can't guarantee that anymore.
I know. We're going to try to get you a Cameron Boozer if you just get through one more year. It's like they think they've got their coach of the future, but he's going to have to lose 300 games before they give him a chance to win.
And then they'll get the 7th overall pick.
Oh, man.
That's how it is now.
Anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing how the Grizzlies stack up against them.
Sounds good.
I like playing them.
They got to deal with Cam Spencer on Friday.
I'd rather let other people play the Thunder. If I could just focus on the Wizards and the Jazz and the Pelicans and the Mavericks, those are the ones I like.
It's pretty fun.
I like playing them.
It's a good existence. I've enjoyed it lately.
I like playing them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about the Thunder, but we'll take a shot when we get there.
Hell yeah, we will.
Bennett said, hell yeah, we will. When we come back, Memphis has a football coach. His name is Charles Huff. He comes here from Southern Miss, the University of Southern Mississippi. We'll talk through it from every angle. We'll do that next. Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
The heaviest metal credit card of all time. Rumored to be one of only 18 in existence. Plated with the very same tungsten that forged the International Space Station. And wielded at business dinners like a samurai sword. It's a classic corporate power move. But the real power move? Having end-to-end visibility on your most critical shipments. FedEx, the new power move.
Are you ready to transform your pool into a stunning oasis? At Mainland Pool Service, they're a family-owned business committed to keeping your pool looking pristine all year round. They believe that pool care should be proactive, not reactive, which is why their skilled team handles everything from routine cleaning to complex issues with precision. They prioritize clear communication and personalized solutions to exceed your expectations. Join the Mainland Pool Service family today and experience the difference their expertise and dedication can bring to your relaxation retreat. Contact them now at mainlandpoolservice.com.
Memphis. Monday Night Raw returns with non-stop action, unmatched energy, and the superstars you love.
We don't get mad, we get even. We don't go home till we beat them. This is our time, we ain't leaving. Give me the crown undefeated.
Witness the moments you'll never forget. Monday Night Raw, Memphis. Monday, February 16th. Tickets and ringside packages on sale next Friday.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans. Want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Orthopedic injuries can be unpredictable, unforeseen, and unscheduled, and Ortho South understands this better than anyone. Since your injuries don't make appointments, you don't need to either, and that's because Ortho South welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays, in the evenings, and even on Saturdays. So next time an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life, visit orthosouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. Just walk in. And Ortho South to take care of everything, especially you. Learn more at orthosouth.org. That's orthosouth at orthosouth.org. Now I got 5 more things you need to know.
Number 1.
Memphis has a new football coach. His name is Charles Huff. He comes here after 1 year at Southern Miss. Bennett Doyle, your thoughts?
I'm excited. I saw him. So I didn't know really what to make. I think it's one of those I didn't know what to make of Justin Fuente when we hired him. I didn't know what to make of Mike Norvell when we hired him. You know, obviously we knew Silverfield because he had been here for a while with Norvell. So when it happens, you're kind of like, okay, let me dive in a little bit and see what Charles Huff's been up to, and it's kind of good stuff. When you dive into it, it's like, okay, this dude has been in college football for a long time. He's won a bunch of games. He's gotten some big wins. He's recruited really well. I think that's the biggest thing for me is the recruiting thing. You're in a school that's got the funds to be able to compete at the highest level of the conference, and you're bringing in a coach who is one of the better recruiters in the country. I mean, one publication awarded him National Recruiter of the Year at one point. So I think that's exciting stuff.
It's a good thing, clearly. Like, you'd rather hire somebody who has once upon a time been called Recruiter of the Year as opposed to somebody who's never been called Recruiter of the Year. If I'm being completely honest with you, that stuff matters less to me than it might have in a different era, because the way you recruited, and it was, I believe, The Athletic in 2020 called him the best recruiter in the country. The way you recruited in 2020 just is not the way you recruit now. Period. In 2020, at least in theory, you're supposed to be like, do you like our facilities?
Fair enough.
Do you like me? Then come be with me in our nice facilities. But now you're just like offering money. I mean, you really are offering money.
Yeah.
Like, you can be the best recruiter in the world. I can be the worst recruiter in the world by any sort of traditional standard. But if we're both pursuing the same quarterback and I offer him $1.2 million and you offer him $700,000, I don't care how good you are at recruiting, you just lost that recruit to me. So that kind of stuff doesn't matter as much as it used to, but I'd rather have somebody with that type of reputation than not, sure. I do think it's hilarious. I saw this all weekend. People having strong opinions about Charles Huff. How could you possibly?
Right.
How could you possibly? You didn't know Charles Huff existed 2 weeks ago. Like, on this planet, you didn't know there was a man named Charles Huff. If I showed you that picture 2 weeks ago, you'd have been like, who is that? And now all of a sudden you know exactly what kind of football coach he's going to be at the University of Memphis. Based off of what exactly? You looked at a Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
You looked at a Wikipedia page.
Yep.
Here's the truth. None of us know how this is going to go. All right? But if you were frustrated because your previous coach was here 6 years and couldn't even make a conference championship game, much less win a conference championship, well, just know that you just hired a man who has won a conference championship as a head coach. He did it at Marshall. 2 seasons ago at Marshall, he went 10-3, and he won a Sun Belt title. Okay? He then moves to Southern Miss because I don't know if this has always been true or if it'll always be true, but in this moment, Southern Miss is a better job than Marshall. So he takes the Southern Miss job. That's a program that had only won 4 games total the previous 2 years combined. In his first year, he goes 7-5. So he took over a tough situation at Marshall. By year 4, won a conference championship, took over a tough situation at Southern Miss, made it better immediately. He has worked at Alabama for the GOAT. He has worked at Penn State for another incredibly accomplished football coach. So he's been around good people. He's been around some of the biggest programs in the country, worked at some of the biggest programs in the country. He's won as a head coach, by all accounts has a big personality, and now he will be the head coach at the University of Memphis. Ask me how it will go. I don't know, other than I will tell you my instincts are that it'll go well, largely because I think if you're competent at all, you should be able to do well right now at the University of Memphis as it pertains to running that football program, because they are funded at a rate better than any other Group of 5 program outside of maybe, based on new promises, South Florida.
And the 1 year at Southern Miss this past season really resonates to me because of how bad that job was, or how bad it was when he took it over. And then they had a successful season, because I've sat here and said to you multiple times, I think I don't take winning for granted. It is very important to keep winning at a high level immediately. Like, there's no time for a rebuild, none of that in general in college football, but specifically here where you just can't afford it. Like, you need to be able to win next season, and look at what he did there. I think he should be able to win next season.
He will need to.
Yeah.
That will be the expectation.
I'm not saying conference championship or bust. I'm saying be in the hunt.
But like the other programs you should be competing with at the top of the American, it won't really be an excuse of, well, I'm in year 1. Well, the new guy at Tulane's going to be in year 1 too. And,
The guy at USF.
The guy at UAB is going to be in year one.
North Texas.
The guy at USF is going to be in year one. The guy at North Texas is going to be in year one. One of those schools is probably going to win the league. Those are the best programs in the league. So a first-year coach is probably going to win the American next season, or at least have a shot to win the American.
Navy's still there.
Navy's still there, sure. But I would prefer for it to be the coach at the first-year coach at the University of Memphis.
Yeah.
I imagine it'll go well because I think this program is set up to go well. But here's what I think is the most interesting aspect of this entire hire. I tried to explain this on Jess's show earlier. We don't have to lie to each other. By the time we got to Saturday morning, the easiest thing Ed Scott could have done is hire Jerry Mack from Kennesaw State. That's the easiest thing he could have done. Jerry Mack's from here. He had just won a conference championship on national television Friday night. Post-game interview was awesome. He talked about where I'm from. I almost felt like with a little wink. He just flipped a bad program into a conference champion, won 10 games, conference coach of the year, in a conference that you used to be in. Like that's the easiest thing to do. Hire Jerry Mack. And if it goes well, amazing. And if it doesn't, you've got cover. You know what you say? The guy just won 10 games at a program that didn't even exist in this way a handful of years ago. Won a conference championship. He got a quarterback he could bring. He's from here, local ties. We need to really rally the community. We're opening a refurbished stadium. Who better to do that than a local guy with local ties who grew up here coming off a conference championship? That is the easiest thing to do. That is the equivalent of you're picking 9th in an NBA draft. Just pick up everybody's mock draft and go, they all say we should take this person. I guess we'll just take this person. Takes more guts to draft Zach Edey there. Takes more guts to draft hire Charles Huff here. So what does that tell you? It tells me something crystal clear. When the easy thing to do is the thing you steer away from, at least publicly the easy thing to do is the thing you steer away from. Here, what that tells me is either Ed Scott and the people who helped him make this hire have an incredible conviction about Charles Huff, and or there was something that made them not as enthusiastic about Jerry Mack. I want to be clear. I'm saying and or. It could just be we love Charles Huff and Jerry Mack would have been amazing, but this is the guy. All right? But one way or another, like Ed Scott's not a dumb guy. You don't think he watched that championship game on Friday night? You don't think he monitored social media? You don't think he knows Memphis fans are like, is that the guy? Let's go get the guy. And he still went and got Charles Huff.
Yep.
That means he has a conviction here. I respect that. Now, he better be right.
Yeah, for sure.
He better be right. But when you don't do the easy thing, it shows me that you genuinely believe in the less easy thing. And that's what happened here. On the Dan Mullen stuff, it just was never a real thing.
Right.
It just wasn't. I know we talked about it last week because you asked me about it last week. But that just wasn't – that was a thing on the internet and I guess in microphones. But Ed Scott was never really pursuing Dan Mullen, and there's no indication Dan Mullen had any interest in the job. The other thing I've heard some people say, if you're going to hire Charles Huff, why did it wait through signing day all the way till Saturday for it to get reported, Monday morning for it to become official? And there's some contractual reasons for that, perhaps. But also, I guess in theory, they could have watched Ryan Silverfield go to Fayetteville last Sunday and immediately hire Charles Huff. But I don't think they knew last Sunday that they wanted to hire Charles Huff. I think they were genuinely trying to figure out what to do next and turning over every stone. And we just went through a thing with the Grizzlies where they fired their head coach, promoted an assistant to interim, and then without talking to anybody else, removed the interim tag. And Tomas Isolo became the next head coach of the Memphis Grizzlies without any competition. And some Grizzlies fans didn't like that. Some Memphis fans, Memphians didn't like that. Hey, why couldn't we talk to, even if that's what you thought you wanted to do, why couldn't you talk to some other people? Interview some people. Like you couldn't get Michael Malone on the phone for a second? Well, if you were somebody saying that, then why does this bother you so much? Because this is clearly what they were doing. They were talking to people. Jerry Mack, yes. LSU defensive coordinator. Others, I'm certain. They did a real coaching search. I don't think the moment Ryan Silverfield left for Arkansas that Ed Scott knew exactly what he was going to do. And then I think he started talking to the people you would talk to. Charles Huff, Jerry Mack, LSU defensive coordinator. I know there was Hugh Freeze conversations. I don't think those went anywhere. But ultimately, you decide we're not going to do the Hugh Freeze thing. Dan Mullen isn't interested. The LSU defensive coordinator is either going to stay at LSU or go to Tulane, which is his alma mater. Wife is also from New Orleans. So does it make any sense the LSU defensive coordinator is going to walk away from LSU and turn down his alma mater and his wife's hometown to come be the head coach at Memphis? Probably not. All right? So that's not a real thing either. You can keep talking, but it's not a real thing. At the end of the day, you're going to finish third in that one. So then what are you left with? Charles Huff, Jerry Mack. That's where they were. That's where they were. By the end of last week, that's where they were. And again, the easiest thing they could have done is go hire Jerry Mack. It would have been an easy sell, and you've got cover if it doesn't go well. Because it's the thing most people would have done in that moment. That they didn't do it shows me they feel strongly about Charles Huff. And it is one of those where you better be right because it is important.
Yeah, it's a big hire.
But if I were a Memphis fan, one who is a little unsure about sort of how this unfolded and where it's going, the thing I would find solace in is that if you believe in your athletic director, know your athletic director believes in the coach he just hired. Because I think he knows that it would have been more popular on Saturday morning to announce Jerry Mack other than Charles Huff, given the way Friday night unfolded. I think it would have been more popular on Saturday morning. But you're not trying to win a popularity contest. You're trying to get the perfect guy for your job in this moment. And whether they're right or wrong, we'll see. But Memphis clearly believes that guy is Charles Huff.
Number 2.
College football playoff bracket is set. Indiana is the number 1 overall seed after winning the Big Ten championship game. Let's just settle here for a second.
Okay. That's a wild story.
The wildest.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
Indiana undefeated with a second-year coach. They hired from James Madison, who before that was a Division II coach. Oh, by the way, how excited do you think Indiana fans were when they hired Curt Cignetti at a James Madison?
Probably, we'll see.
2 years later, they're literally the number 1 team in the country.
Right.
Okay. I was trying to talk, Saturday in studio was one of those weird days where we have at the CBS Broadcast Center a football crew in and a basketball crew in because we've got basketball and football going on. So we're all together. So it's like, here's a basketball people, me and Roy Hibbert, and then, here's Randy Cross and, Brent Stover and Kevin Carter and the football crew. And so we're all sort of watching all of this together. And we were just sort of talking through, like, what is this Indiana thing like? And I really do think this is about what it would be like. A longtime Division II basketball coach gets the James Madison job in basketball, does a good job there, and then gets the Penn State basketball job. And you're like, wow, it's a Big Ten job. I guess I got to take it. But it's like the worst Big Ten job. Nobody ever wins there. Nobody's ever won there. And then he gets the job, and people say, why do you think you're going to be able to win here? And this guy says, Google me. I win. Relax. I'll be fine. And you're like, what? And then he actually wins in year 1 in a way that you're like, how did he do that? And in year 2, he wins the whole thing. Beats the reigning national champs in the Big Ten title game. Like, this is insane. Imagine if Penn State in year 2 with a no-name coach had the best basketball program not only in the Big Ten but in the country. That's what we're watching. There are some truly special coaching talents out there, and Curt Cignetti seems to be one of them. I don't know the football side of things. Like, I don't know those men the way I know the basketball side of things, but I can just tell you, if a longtime Division II coach in his 60s who just won at James Madison popped into the Big Ten or the SEC at a bad SEC or Big Ten job in basketball and started talking about Google me, the other coaches would be like, GP, who does this guy think he is? Like, is he crazy? You just took a job in a league with Purdue and Michigan State, and you're talking about Google me? Oh, this guy's going to get his head rolled. No, he's awesome. He's maybe the best coach in the country.
Dude, and don't you, I mean, obviously winning a national championship is the ultimate goal, and like that would be the greatest thing ever. But man, to win that conference championship over Ohio State, who has dominated that thing,
Bro.
like that's good stuff.
He's the real deal.
Mm-hmm.
He's the real deal. So they're the number 1 seed. Ohio State is the 2 seed. Ole Miss remains the 6. And I'm happy for my friends at Ole Miss. I guess on Tuesday night they told us it was unlikely they would be punished for the departure of Lane Kiffin. But like I said last week, that makes no sense. If you can punish Florida State 2 years ago for losing their quarterback, you should be able to punish. In fact, you should punish Ole Miss for losing its head coach. You cannot convince me that not having Lane Kiffin doesn't matter. And if it matters, it should be reflected in the seeding. But I'm thrilled for my friends at Ole Miss because they're now set up to go to the quarterfinals. Because once Duke upsets Virginia in the ACC title game on Saturday, now you're taking the 5 highest-rated conference champions as auto bids, and suddenly the ACC champion is not one of the 5 highest-rated. So James Madison gets the 12 seed, and vulnerable Tulane gets the 11.
How about that?
And vulnerable Tulane is going down to Oxford for a first-round playoff game, which, are you following this? If Memphis would have won the AAC, it would have been Memphis Ole Miss.
Oh, come on, man.
I mean,
we're done talking about that.
That's what it tells you.
That's old news.
Like we hypothesized about the possibility of it weeks ago when Memphis was projected to win the American. But now this is real life. This is where we're at. The bracket is set. The American champion is going to Ole Miss for a first-round playoff game. It could have been us.
That would have been it goes without saying, that would have been the biggest Memphis football game of all time.
And the biggest Ole Miss football game of all time. At least certainly in modern history.
Oh,
man.
That is absolutely crushing when you think about it like that.
Yeah, that's where we would be. We'd be going down to Oxford for a playoff game.
A rivalry renewed. Damn, man, that hurts.
So,
because it ain't ever gonna set up like that again, buddy.
Probably not.
Never.
Like, probably not.
That specific matchup, like that specific situation, it's never gonna set up like that again.
You know, never's a long time, but it was right there. Some people are now upset that there's too many group of 5 teams in the bracket. I get it, and I'm sure they'll address it. But all that does to me is every time you expand playoffs or create playoffs, people get concerned about the integrity of the regular season. Well, this shows you that by the nature of the bracket, it's an advantage to finish 1, 2, 3, 4 instead of 5, 6, 7, 8 or something else because you get a first-round bye. Like, you quite literally don't even have to play a game to advance to the quarterfinals. So that puts the emphasis on the regular season, like we want to be one of the top 4. And then, in theory, you also would like to be 5 rather than 6 because you get the group of 5 opponent as opposed to, Alabama or Miami or something like that. But in this particular year, there was a real advantage to being the 6th seed as well because you also get a group of 5 team as opposed to a power conference team. So Oregon's the 5 seed, Ole Miss the 6th seed. They both get to host a group of 5 teams in the first round. Barring surprises, they could advance to the quarterfinals. The thing that got the most of attention is the way they flipped Notre Dame and Miami at the end. And that's just nonsensical. It's bad. They messed up. And they tried to mealy-mouth it yesterday by, well, you have to understand BYU got knocked out bad in their championship game in the Big 12 title game. So then that slides them, and now you put this, and then you got to look at this. And when you look at this, then it looks like we need to get Miami ahead of Notre Dame. It's all bullshit. Here's what they did. they messed up weeks ago. They should have had Miami ahead of Notre Dame weeks ago. Miami has held this head-to-head win over Notre Dame the whole season.
Mm-hmm.
And it has been crystal clear for a while. You were possibly headed for a scenario where you're going to be picking between those two teams. And if you're picking between those two teams, you're going to pick Miami because they won the head-to-head matchup. It's just a hard sell to look into the world and say, these two teams are coming down to one spot. They played this season. This team beat that team, but we're taking the loser over the winner. It's a hard sell.
Mm-hmm.
As Dan Wolken wrote, this was a Titanic headed for this iceberg for a while, and you could see it coming. You saw the iceberg out there. And they just never tried to steer away from it until the last minute. They were given multiple opportunities in recent weeks to flip that and get it right. And it would have perhaps been controversial, but not nearly as controversial as it was. Because on Tuesday, they told us Notre Dame was ahead of Miami. And then on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, nothing that really matters to either one of those teams happened in the sport of college football. Nothing that impacted their resumes in any meaningful way happened. Nothing that impacted their rosters in any meaningful way happened. And they just flipped it and put Miami ahead of Notre Dame. And they tried to mealy-mouth justify it. Here's the truth. They just recognized either late Saturday or early Sunday, guys,
Miami's got the head-to-head.
We were hoping we could fit them both in and it wouldn't be a problem.
Uh-huh.
But Virginia just messed up.
Yeah.
And this whole, we don't want to knock Alabama out for losing in the SEC championship game, given that Alabama was the 1 seed in the SEC. So we've now only got one spot for Miami and Notre Dame. And if we don't give it to the team that won the game when those two teams played each other, we're going to get killed. So we need to flip this. And they flipped it. But now they're getting killed for flipping it for no reason. It would be like if I've got Arizona number 1 in the top 25 and 1 right now.
Mm-hmm.
I've thought about it. We've discussed it. I've got it. It's where I believe. Whether I'm right or wrong, it doesn't matter. It's what I believe. Arizona's number 1. Literally nothing happens today, and then I wake up tomorrow and I say Michigan's number 1. Arizona's now number 2. Okay, you might be right, but why did you flip it? If you're right today, it means you were wrong yesterday because nothing happened. I actually think the committee got it right at the end. But the way they got there is just wrong. And if I were a Notre Dame fan, I'd be furious. And if I were a Notre Dame fan, I'd also be wondering if this isn't the type of thing that pushes us toward a conference affiliation.
I just think that they have to at this point.
Well, think about this. Dan Wolken wrote a column about it.
Look how this is set up. Yeah.
Okay. At the end of this whole thing, what we know is that you're picking between Notre Dame and Miami.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we know at the end of the whole thing. Dan's point is this. Once you're not taking the ACC champion, you already got the ACC upset with you. Then if you don't take an ACC at large, you have an entire league mad. You don't take Notre Dame. Who do you have mad? One school. You don't take Miami, you got a whole conference mad at you.
Mm-hmm.
You don't take Notre Dame, it's just one school that's mad at you.
That's a good point.
They don't have a whole conference fighting for them. They take great pride in their independence. Well, that's fine up until you need somebody to fight with you. They didn't have nobody to fight with them.
Mm-mm.
And I don't know that that's I think the determining factor is Miami and Notre Dame played. Miami beat them.
Sure.
But if you've got a whole conference fighting for you and they try to pull this shit at the very end, hold up. On Tuesday, you told me we were ahead of them. Ain't nothing happened between now and then. And you're telling me now we're behind them. No. You got a whole conference fighting for you? That's a different fight. On Saturday night, Sunday morning, Miami had a whole conference fighting for them. Notre Dame didn't have nobody.
Yeah.
Their independence is a strength up until it's a weakness. Again, I think the determining factor was hey guys, we've had it. This is what they did. We've had it wrong. We've just had it wrong, and we need to fix it now. So let's put Miami ahead of Notre Dame. That's what happened. But I'd be curious to know if Notre Dame had a whole league and they're fighting for them. Buddy, you try to do this, we're going to have our whole conference on television talking about what happened. Explain to us what happened. We were ahead on Tuesday, which means we're ahead on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. What happened to put us behind them on Sunday morning? The power brokers had an opportunity. We can piss off the entire ACC or just Notre Dame. And maybe lesson learned to Notre Dame. Hey, buddies, we've been telling you need to get in a conference for a while. Maybe this is the time to do it. The whole concept is ridiculous, but I do think that probably played a role.
But you know what's really going to happen to fix all of this, right? They're just going to punish the group of 5. They're not going to let this happen again, unless the tournament expands to more teams.
How about that? They will fix it to where you will never see 2 group of 5 teams in a 12-team playoff again. Now, this is a fluky thing that is mostly the fault of the ACC. Like, if hey, Clemson, just be good, and we're not even having this conversation. Like, you know what this means is that Clemson, Florida State, these big brands that think they're too good for the ACC, they can't even win the ACC, and then the team that wins the ACC is so bad it can't even rank ahead of Tulane or James Madison. Mm-hmm. That's the real problem here. But you're right. It'll come at the expense of the group of 5. Well, and somebody, whether it's Greg Sankey, Big Ten commissioner, they'll all get together and be like, okay, how do we make it to where this can't happen again? Mm-hmm. And they will. They'll make it to where this can't happen again.
I feel like the ACC needs to reinforce their league, maybe add some members.
Yeah. Well,
if you can't beat them, join them type situation.
Well, that's coming.
Maybe come grab some of those group of 5s that are that have been in the hunt this season.
I don't think they're going to add until they lose, but eventually they're probably going to lose, and then they'll probably add.
Okay.
Anyway, college football playoff bracket is set, but not without controversy. The committee, they're not very good at this.
Number 3.
Congratulations to Penny Hardaway's Tigers. 78-71 victory over the Baylor Bears inside FedEx Forum on Saturday on America's Most Watched Network. That's the network of stars. Big Bet Bennett, is everything good? We're all good now?
Well, I think that was the best thing about it, is that it was on America's Most Watched Network, the network of stars. I mean, it just it felt bigger than just a win over an unranked team. It felt like it felt big. It felt big. Like, it felt like a lot of people were paying attention to this one. And obviously, I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and be like, well, we know Baylor's going to be good this year. Like, we don't know. I would assume that they're going to turn that thing around because Scott Drew's a great coach. Right. So I'm hoping that looks like a great win at the end of the season. Regardless, it was a great win for Memphis in this moment because they really needed something to say, hey, bad start.
Yeah.
It was rough to start. Looked like this thing the wheels could fall off pretty early, but we righted the ship. We won 3 in a row, and we've got our first really good win.
Huge for all of those reasons. And also now you can start to frame things a little differently. Like, there was a moment where you were on a 4-game losing streak. That's tough to sell. Now you're on a 3-game winning streak, and it features a win over Baylor. You've got another top 100 win over San Francisco. So right now, like, if you're looking at this honestly, you can say, okay, 4-4 is not where you're supposed to be. All right? But one of the losses is at Ole Miss, and I know Ole Miss doesn't look good, but still, it's at Ole Miss. It's a road game in the SEC. Another one's to Purdue, top 10 team. And another one was on a dumb, stupid end-of-game sequence at Wake Forest. That if you played that over 10 more times,
Tigers win.
You'd win it 10 more times. But in that moment, you lost it. So, yeah, there's nothing you can do about the UNLV game. You'll never get that back. That's going to be a burden through Selection Sunday if Selection Sunday even matters to you.
Maybe not. Josh won at Stanford.
That was nice, but Stanford's not very good. But it was nice. It was nice. But if you're a Memphis fan right now, you can say, okay, take the UNLV game, set it over here, because there's no making sense of that.
Yeah.
But outside of that, the Tigers have played 7 games. And what have they done in those 7? They've won 4 of them. And the 3 losses are at Ole Miss, competitive game, to Purdue, neutral court, competitive game, fluky ending against Wake Forest. It's not going to get you in the top 25, but it could get you atop the American Conference. And right now, they are the highest rated team in the American. As bad as this has gone, they are still the highest rated team in America. Now, I'm not going to be somebody who moves the goalpost. Ultimately, just being the best team in the American should not be the goal for Memphis. It'd be like if we were talking about Gonzaga right now, and I was like, yeah, Gonzaga, they're down to 67th at KenPom, but, they're still the best team in the West Coast Conference. You'd be like, yo, but 67th at KenPom is not okay. This is Gonzaga basketball. Congrats on being the best in your league, but this is Gonzaga basketball. You hold yourself to a higher standard. Same thing. This is Memphis basketball. We're not going to be out here celebrating being better than Tulsa and East Carolina, all right? But they are the highest-rated team in the American right now, and there's some stuff that happened Saturday that gives you reason to believe you could salvage this season and, if not spend the whole thing with a number next to your name, at least finish the thing by holding a conference tournament trophy and getting an automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. Aaron Bradshaw not only played Saturday, but played well. And that's important to see. I know folks were out on him after he got benched midweek and had been bad all season. Bennett Doyle, you among them. But he is talented. And if you can tap into something, you're a better basketball team with him being impactful than you are with him sitting on the bench for 40 minutes. And in this one, he did go out and play 25 minutes, get 17 points and 7 rebounds, and looked like he wanted to play. So perhaps the benching midweek, maybe it triggered something.
Yeah, and worth noting he came off the bench in that Baylor game too. Same with Zach Davis. I think with both of those guys, those were high-level guys from Power 5 schools that you brought in here to be major pieces on this team. And so can you do it for a stretch of games? Again, that's a big spotlight. Baylor on national TV. That's a huge game. Are you going to do that on a Wednesday night against UTSA?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I think the consistency is what's going to be so important for him. Will you do it on a nightly basis? Even if it doesn't go well, are you just out there playing hard when it's not going well?
We'll see, right? I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know that Aaron Bradshaw has turned things around. It's one game.
Right.
And, the other 7 have been mostly bad. So 1 out of 8 ain't that great.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to vouch for Aaron Bradshaw right now, but I was encouraged by what I saw.
Me too.
They won in part because he showed up. So hopefully he shows up again. Up next, no midweek stuff this week. So it's at Louisville on Saturday.
Oh, let's go. Rivalry renewed.
It's a
That's why I
rivalry
wore the
renewed.
Memphis State hat today.
It's a rivalry renewed.
It's time.
The next 2 are going to be hard. They could play.
If we beat Louisville, you ain't telling me nothing the rest of the season. I mean, that is my championship, buddy. I hate them.
They're good.
The hate is still right here.
They just beat Indiana pretty bad.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they're good. These next 2, Louisville and Vanderbilt. I mean, Louisville's a legitimate top 15 team.
Yeah.
And Vanderbilt is now projected to win the SEC.
That's going to be a fun one. That's a Wednesday night here. Hopefully we get a big crowd. People should show up for that. That's Memphis versus Nashville, SEC team in town. We got to get a good crowd for that game.
So Louisville on Saturday on the road, Vanderbilt next Wednesday inside FedEx Forum. If you're curious, KenPom has Louisville 87-73 winner and Vanderbilt an 83-75 winner. But that's why they play the games.
Baylor was favored.
Hey, Baylor. Hey, KenPom, if you're so smart, tell me why you had Baylor beating Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, KenPom thinks it's so smart.
That's why we lace them up.
We're going to lace them up. Hey, KenPom, if we sat around listening to you,
we wouldn't have a win over Baylor.
We wouldn't have a win over Baylor. So that's a cute little projection your computer's spitting out. But we've laid waste to your projections before.
Computers don't win games.
Computers don't win games. Aaron Bradshaw with a heart wins games.
Yes, he does.
Aaron Bradshaw wins a heart.
We need it again Saturday.
Put KenPom's computer on one side. Aaron Bradshaw with a heart on the other side. I'm taking Aaron Bradshaw with a heart.
I'm so glad they renewed. I could be regretting saying this, but I'm just so glad that they got that game back on the schedule. I hope it stays on the schedule. That one matters, especially since they're scared to play us over in Knoxville.
Yep.
And that's done.
Yep.
I just love Louisville's always been that's our biggest rival of all time. I want that one every year.
The Louisville rivalry is the one I grew up with.
Yes.
My initial passion for Memphis basketball was
the youths don't know, but there was real hatred.
There was real hatred.
Yeah.
Like I hated Denny Crum my whole childhood.
I mean, even in the 2000s, there was Francisco Garcia. Like we hated them.
Antonio Burks hated Francisco Garcia.
Hell yeah, he did. So did I.
Antonio Burks.
Still do.
I told you the story. Antonio Burks, we were at Louisville and Memphis, Louisville playing, and we were flying back after the game, and Burks had gotten a technical foul in the middle of the game, and he was clearly jawing with Francisco Garcia.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, after the game, we were at the airport, and I was like, yo, man, so what happened? What happened between you and Francisco Garcia? He said, we off the record? I said, yeah, we're off the record. He said, I called him a bitch. He said, I called him a little bitch. That's what he said. I called him a little bitch. Keep in mind, Francisco Garcia, probably like 5 inches taller than Antonio Burks. Either way, I'm like.
Awesome player, by the way.
My favorite.
Played Sacramento Kings legend, I believe.
Yes. But I said, what happened between you and Francisco Garcia? He said, I called him a little bitch. I started laughing. I said, why'd you call him a little bitch? And Burks, I swear to God, he goes, because he's a little bitch. I said, okay, that makes sense to me. So, yes, that hatred did, we had Cincinnati stuff in there. Nick Van Exel broke my heart, but that was more high school stuff. That was more like 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade stuff. But like 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade stuff, that was like Purvis Ellison, LeBradford Smith.
Oh, yeah.
Denny Crum. Like, no, there was real hatred. Like, you would drive around Memphis and see bumper stickers that would be like, my favorite team is the Tigers and whoever's playing Louisville. Like, that was a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Jack Eaton famously said if Louisville was playing the Soviet Union, I'd be rooting for the Soviet Union. There was real hatred.
That's right, Big Jack.
So I'm looking forward to this. I don't know how the game's going to go. Louisville's good. They're really good. They got a 5-star point guard and shooters all around him, and they're good. But that's why they play the games.
Penny knows. Penny's got a week to explain to these guys what this game means. Penny knows?
Penny knows.
Yeah.
Penny knows. All right.
Get him ready, Coach.
All right, let's go. Memphis, Louisville this weekend. I'm ready.
Number 4.
Hey, it was a hell of a basketball weekend throughout the country with Duke going to Michigan State and winning. Iowa State going to Purdue, number 1 Purdue, and winning by 23 points. We've been playing college basketball for a long time. They've had an AP poll since the late 40s, and no team that has ever been ranked number 1 in the AP poll has ever lost a home game by more points than the 23 points Purdue lost at home this weekend at the expense of Iowa State. So now the AP poll will update soon, but in the top 25 and 1, I've got it Arizona 1, Michigan 2, Duke 3, Iowa State 4. And those are the only 4 teams in the country that are all undefeated and with net ratings at KenPom above 30. And I saw this interesting graphic over the weekend. I was in studio all night, CBS Sports Network Saturday, got back to my hotel and turned on the end of Arizona-Auburn. And there was a graphic that said 15 of the past 20 national champions in men's basketball have been both undefeated and ranked in the AP poll at the end of the regular season. At the end of November. So if you were to apply that to this season, which teams qualify? If 75% of our past 20 national champions have been undefeated and ranked at the end of November. If you were to apply, okay, so who are teams that qualify in that way this year? It is those 4 that I just mentioned: Arizona, Michigan, Duke, Iowa State, Vanderbilt, Purdue, Michigan State, and Louisville. There were 8 teams in the country that were both undefeated and ranked on the morning of December 1st. And 4 of them are the teams that are now 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the top 25 and 1. One of them is the team Memphis is playing this weekend. One of them is a team Memphis already played in the Bahamas. One of them is a team Memphis will play next week. That's Vanderbilt. And the other is Michigan State. So think about that. Vanderbilt and Louisville are Memphis's next 2 opponents.
Mm-hmm.
and they're both one of the 8 teams that have a chance to continue this trend that has been a trend in college basketball for the past 2 decades. So fun weekend in the sport, and we've got some real, awesome basketball teams relative to historical standards emerging right now. Duke, they lost all 5 starters and are 10-0, and the only team in the country with a 0 in the loss column and 4 quadrant 1 wins already. So a little bit like John Calipari at Kentucky, Mike Krzyzewski at Duke. They get these young guys, rebuild these teams every offseason, and they make it look easy. But if you think it's simple to just go out and win with a brand new team every year because you've got all the resources in the world, well, then explain to me what's happening at Kentucky right now. Big brand, $22 million roster. They stink. Lost by 35 to Gonzaga on Friday night in Nashville. Got booed out of the arena. Look at North Carolina last year. All of the resources, big brand, barely made the NCAA tournament and probably shouldn't have. It's not easy to create this type of elite team with so much roster turnover, even if you have all of the advantages you can imagine. But John Shire is making it look easy right now. And for the second year in a row, he's got a team that's obviously talented enough to go win the whole thing.
Number 5.
Man, I thought you're still going there.
Our old friend Desmond Bane went viral again. Kyra, will you show us what Desmond Bane did yesterday? They played the Knicks yesterday. He's at Madison Square Garden. And this fella, for the second time this season, what are you doing? Just decides to throw a ball off of another human.
That is so good. Why did he do that here? I do feel like he did that every now and again when he was here. That is hilarious.
Like, what's going on with him? That's like not normal.
Okay.
Everybody in the world watches that and goes like, yo, man, he's not falling. It's one thing if you're falling out of bounds. By the way, you don't have to throw it like that when you're falling out of bounds. He threw a fastball at him.
But that's his thing.
Throwing balls at people.
Here's what was going through his head there. He obviously didn't think it through in the moment, but what happened there is it's the same it's what he's been doing is he knows that when some dude's falling out of bounds and I got a chance to get the ball out of bounds on it, I'm going to spike it on him. That's his thing. And clearly there he thought like he just wasn't thinking right. He just wasn't thinking right. That's what he was going for. That's what he was going for.
But that shouldn't be your thing.
I know,
like
but
if that's your thing, that shouldn't be your thing. That's like if Grayson Allen said, "My thing is tripping." You would say, "Well, you need to stop that."
No, that's Denny Avdia's thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I tried to handle that one.
Respect to 12 for going out there and taking care of business.
I know. John's numbers are down across the board, but buddy, if you need somebody to get in somebody's face, he'll handle that for you.
No, I liked that. That was BS.
Yeah, he tripped him.
Yeah.
I mean, he did. It was obvious what he did. Yeah. So
he threw a little fit yesterday.
But like, just because that is your thing, tripping or throwing balls off of people, you can't do that. And he wasn't even falling out of bounds. He just threw and I'll give OG Anunoby credit because after the game, he was like, I thought it was weird, and then I thought it was funny, and they sort of laughed it off.
Yeah.
But like a different guy would not laugh that off.
No, you could even tell in the moment, like when OG Anunoby stands up and shoves him, he's like, "What are you doing?"
Yes.
Like, he was so confused.
It was more of that. Yes. It was like, I'm not even really mad at you, but I don't even understand why you just did that.
Why'd you do that?
Why did you throw that ball at me like that? You didn't need to. It seemed unnecessary.
Oh.
So Des has got a little, everybody loves Desmond Bane, but he's got a little something going on with him.
I hope he doesn't try to do that to us. We will see him coming up soon in the international games.
You're going to go all the way to Europe just to get a ball thrown at us by Desmond Bane.
Uh-huh. Those will be fun.
Except he's going to throw it at Zach Kleiman.
No, he won't.
Yes, what if Desmond Bane throws a ball at Zach? Then what?
I think he'd be looking at a suspension at that point.
What if he just middle of the game grabs the ball and throws it? I hope Zach gets a box over there. You don't need to be.
Yeah, I think he'd be looking at a suspension at that point. No, listen, man, he's starting to remember people were like, what's going on with him? Did they make the wrong trade? But he's been really good. So it looks like they knew what they were doing there.
All right, before we get out of here, let me address James in the chat. I just glanced down. James, don't ever say wrong GP and then support it with something that is wrong. I said there are 4 teams in the country that are undefeated and have net ratings above 30 at KenPom.com. They are Michigan, Iowa State, Duke, and Arizona. Oh, James in the chat. Wrong, GP. Vanderbilt also has a net rating over 30 and is undefeated. I'm looking at it right now, James. Plus 29.20. You can argue with me about a lot of things, but not about my KenPom numbers. All right?
Sorry, James.
All right?
You're good, man. You're good in my book.
It's just, I know you're supposed to be able to ignore the chat.
I do. As soon as I saw wrong GP,
you can't start it like that.
I was like, I can't wait till he takes a glance at that.
Don't tell me I'm wrong. I got a whole house full of people that try to tell me I'm wrong sometimes. I'm easily triggered by that.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt is awesome, but their net rating, according to KenPom, is plus 29.20, which puts them just below 30.
We're going to knock down that net rating December 17th right here in this building.
That's what Bennett says.
Yep.
We'll be back with Carryout.
Grizzlies fans, dunks, dimes, and no-looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them IRL. And that starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Grizzly stars up close to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on the hardwood. Put that jersey collection to use and get tickets at Ticketmaster. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside, Memphis.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Watching the Grizzlies is easy with FanDuel Sports Network. If you have cable or satellite, you're all set. Find us on your channel lineup. You can also use your TV provider login to watch games on the FanDuel Sports Network app. No cable or satellite? Subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network online. You can also watch on Prime Video by adding a FanDuel Sports Network subscription. Not sure where to start? Visit FanDuelSportsNetwork.com to learn more.
Grizz Nation, Friday nights just got a whole lot better. Introducing Buckets and Brews, the ultimate way to tip off your weekend. Every Friday this season, grab a terrace-level ticket to the Grizz game and 2 12-ounce Miller Lights for just $55. Get great seats, cold brews, and Grizzlies basketball. It's everything you need to start your weekend off right. So get the deal that's too cold to hold. Go to Grizzlies.com/Friday to lock in your tickets today.
Celebrate 12-12 Day with a special ticket savings. See your squad take on the Utah Jazz on Friday, December 12th. That's this Friday for as low as $12. Don't miss your chance to experience all the action live for less. Get this deal today at Grizzlies.com/12. That's Grizzlies.com/12. Let's do GP's Carryout.
It's time for GP's Carryout. One final segment filled with stuff to take with you. It's not everything you need to know, but it's most of it. What did we miss today?
What are you humming about?
I mean, I feel like I can read through some tea leaves there with that ad read.
12-12 and
12-12.
And you know who wears number 12.
You know who wears number 12, and he was upgraded to doubtful on the last injury report.
I didn't want to go off script there. One thing I know about reads is they're supposed to be reads.
Yes.
Somebody writes them for you, you're supposed to just read them.
That's right.
I don't want to go off script and be like, and you can see the return of John Morant. But barring a surprise, we are expecting to see John Morant's return to the Grizzlies rotation, starting lineup, Friday night, 12-12.
12-12 day? I mean, come on. It writes itself.
It writes itself. What do we miss today? Let me tell you a story.
What's up?
Can I tell you a story?
Yep.
All right. So I had an awful travel weekend. So I went to, we did the show on Friday. And then I went home because I kept getting delayed. And I was like, just cancel me or whatever. But, like, don't make me come to the airport, sit there, and then have to go back home. I go to the airport. It's like I waited to the last minute. First off, here's a real thing that happened. Ordered an Uber, come to my house, pick me up. Uber got there, couldn't find my wallet.
Oh.
So I was just like, buddy, I don't know what to do. I can't go to the airport without my wallet. I have no credit cards, no nothing. So that was a waste of time. Find my wallet, get in my car, go to the airport. Get there, go to the Sky Club, doing my normal thing. And it's like, it's time to go. It's like time to board. We're boarding. So I'm like, all right, I got to leave the Sky Club. Board the plane. And we just sat there for a long time. Hours. All right?
That is the worst feeling.
The captain comes on the plane. I promise this isn't just some bitching about travel story. I'll get to the good part, or at least what I think's the good part. We'll see if it's the good part.
Okay.
We'll see if I can make
ready
it the
for
good
the
part.
payoff.
It's a good part in my head. We'll see if it's the good part. So it's a new one on me. The captain was so frustrated. He literally just grabbed the thing and he was like, click. I don't know what to say. We have a broken airplane. It was just like that. So it was like, hey, get off. It's going to be maintenance for about an hour and a half. So just get off, have fun. And then we'll take off an hour and a half. I'm like, fine. I'm not going to get to New York till 1 a.m, but fine. Happened to see somebody on the plane that I know. And it was like, hey, you going to Sky Club? Let's go to Sky Club. We'll go to Sky Club, get a drink, and talk. And go to the Sky Club. We're on our way to the Sky Club. And some people see we're on our way to the Sky Club. And they're like, it's closed. Because it's getting late on a Friday night. It's already closed.
Dang.
So it's like, no Sky Club. It's like, well, there's a bar open right here. Let's just sit down at this bar. So we sit there and we talk. Hang out. And it was fun. And... we're drinking, and had already been drinking on the plane for 2 hours. At this point,
it's getting wild.
We're turned up.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm ever going to get to New York or where I'm spending the night, but we turned up. At some point, they say, hey, remember how we told you we were going to leave in an hour and a half? We're not leaving in an hour and a half. You've been rebooked on a flight that leaves at 7:30 tomorrow morning.
Oh.
Ugh. So I'm like, first, I text my bosses, and I'm like, I'm stuck in Memphis, going to try to get out first thing in the morning, but there's a chance I won't. Just be aware. Well, now it's like, all right, I guess it's time to go home. But I can't drive. I've been drinking. Okay. So I have to get an Uber and just leave my car at the airport because I'm not driving home.
Yeah.
So I get in an Uber. All right, now this is where the story starts. All that other stuff was just me talking.
Okay.
I get in the Uber, and I don't really recall exactly how I recognized something was going on. But I get in the car and I can tell that my driver is a little irritated, aggravated, and he's like on the phone, and I can tell he's in a conversation and he's trying to he's struggling with, I want to finish my conversation, but I also have somebody in the car with me type of thing. But he gets off the phone and I'm like, everything good? He's like, yeah. And he's like, it's just, and I could tell he's upset about something, like stressed. And I'm like, man, do I need to find another car or something? He's like, no, it's fine. But, and when he says, and I'm just sort of sitting there, he goes, but it's just, and then he goes, can I just be honest with you, bro? And I'm like, yeah, of course.
Oh, God.
And that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, he just committed a felony and now I'm in the middle of this somehow, or he just got into a fight with, I don't know what, but it was like, he's clearly irritated about something. And I'm like, is everything okay? And he's like, can I just be honest with you? And I'm like, what? I have no idea what's coming next, but it doesn't feel like it's going to be great. And he goes, can I just be honest with you, bro? And I said, yeah, man, what's up? Nervous. And he goes, so I've got this roommate. She's a woman. She's got 3 kids. And we're just friends and we're just roommates, Times are tough and we both needed a place to live and, we can share a place and save some money. And so that's where we're at. I'm like, okay. And he goes, so I messed up. And I'm like, what? He goes, I knocked her down. He laid down with her.
Oh, he laid down with her.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay. What? He goes, But now she's calling me all the time, wanting to know when I'm coming home and wanting to know, what we're doing tomorrow. And I'm like, I am your roommate. I am not your boyfriend. I didn't sign up for this. And he's like, what would you do? I was like, well, first, I wouldn't be living with a woman that's got 3 kids that ain't my girlfriend or wife. I got 3 kids of my own, and I question that sometimes. So that's your first crazy thing that you've done. And I was like, so how you going to handle this? He said, I'm thinking about making her an offer. I said, okay. If I, what's the right way to say this? If I do it once a week, like if we just carve out a day once a week, will you leave me alone the other 6 days of the week? And I said, well, I don't know how she's going to take that. But, I mean, I guess it's worth a shot. And so the whole way home, we just explored the different ways to handle this unique situation my fella finds himself in. He just wanted a roommate, but it sounds like he had a couple drinks too much, got into the wrong bedroom, and now he's got a situation on his hands. He says he thinks he performed too well, and now he can't get her to shake loose. I told him I never had that problem.
I mean, it sounds like she thinks that he's not just a roommate. I'm wondering if he didn't like see the signs, like if he didn't understand what he was getting himself into here.
I don't think he anticipated all of these problems that he's encountering now, but he's going to have to figure out a way to work through it. He's got a real issue on his hand now. You ever live with a woman that wasn't your girlfriend or significant other?
No.
Me neither.
No.
It just seems like if you did and there's any sort of attraction at all between the two people, that's the way that's going to go at some point, isn't it?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
So you just got to know that this is going to be part of the thing before you even get involved in something like this. Right?
I think you only heard one side of the story there.
You think I only heard one side of the story?
Yeah. Because I bet she would tell you, that's my boyfriend.
He said he is not. He said he's not. She got it all wrong. I was real interested. I wanted to get his number just so I could text with him every once in a while.
Yeah.
I'd like just to see how things are going. But I didn't feel like it was my place. But I wouldn't mind keeping in touch with him. I got his name, from Uber and stuff. I wouldn't mind keeping in touch with him just to see how this goes.
I mean, it seems like that if they're living together and he likes her and they're doing it, that maybe they should try to work it out, have a nice life together.
I don't get my understanding is not that he wants a relationship with this woman. He just wants a place to live. It's a tough spot.
That ain't how that goes, brother.
It's a tough spot. Anyway, you don't ever want to get stuck in the airport all night long, but all things considered, I had a pretty good time. Made for a long-ass Saturday, though.
That actually sounded fun, yeah.
I had a good time.
I know.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I mean, did I walk into my house and immediately fall asleep within 45 seconds? Yes, I did that.
It is kind of scary to think that the pilot can just come on and be like, the plane's broken, but it'll be ready in an hour. I don't know if I'd want to go. I think I'd be like, I'm a little uneasy now.
Hey, we made it. We got there Saturday.
Yeah.
We made for a long Saturday and a fun Friday. I had a lot of plans. I was gonna get caught up on a lot of stuff this weekend. Really, I just hung out with my Uber driver.
You could be doing worse things.
Could be doing worse things. Yeah.
What's today's biggest game?
Are you ready for some football?
I think so.
A Monday night party?
Yeah.
It's the Eagles and the Chargers. Your reigning Super Bowl champs have lost 2 straight games.
I am fighting for my life to try to get in the fantasy playoffs tonight,
man.
GP, and it matters. And I need Devontae Smith to have a bad game.
Well, you probably will.
Or just a subpar game.
Eagles are 8-4. Chargers are 8-4. Philadelphia -2.5 tonight. Total's 41.5. SoFi Stadium. How you going to act?
Eagles.
You believe in the champs?
Justin Herbert's playing with one hand.
Which one?
The throwing hand.
Well, that's a good one. That's the good one. That's the way you'd prefer it.
Yeah, but I don't know, dude. Like, look at what happened yesterday with Jaden Daniels, which the Commanders are idiots for bringing him back. What are you thinking? Your season is over. The guy has a rap, and I know, again, not his throwing arm, and I get it. Like, guys want to play, fine. Your season's over. He's your franchise quarterback. One tackle lands on the elbow, out for the game, and it's like, for what?
I can't answer that.
I watched his arm get mangled 3 weeks ago on national television.
But the Chargers are out here fighting for their playoff lives.
They actually got something to play for. Yeah. Herbert's got like a little finger thing.
All right.
Wrap it up.
All right. Well, Bennett says take the Eagles minus the 2.5 on the road. Kick tonight, 7:15. You can watch it on ABC or ESPN.
What are we watching on TV?
All right. I finished the Diddy documentary.
And?
I thought it was great.
Was it?
It was never bored. Like, if there's an episode 5, I'd have watched episode 5. If there was episode 6, I would have watched episode 6. There was some stuff like, because I watched it on planes, in Ubers, like not in a traditional way. Like we sat down and watched it in our living room, episode 1. The rest of it I just watched on an iPad wherever I happened to be.
Yeah, I got you.
And so there was one point I was like, did they ever really get into the Kim Porter thing? They mention Kim Porter and tell her story, but they don't really talk about how she died. There was some stuff like that left out. Like, she died under mysterious circumstances. And given that everybody around this guy dies, like, should we maybe have looked at that? They didn't really look at that in any sort of real way, but they focus a lot on the Tupac stuff, a lot on the Biggie stuff, a lot on his relationship with Cassie. I don't know what I thought it would be going in, but it is like a well-made, serious documentary. I think sometimes because 50 Cent's like the face of it, it's like 50 Cent's Diddy documentary, and 50's so, who he is. It's like, well, is this real? Like, it's a serious documentary. It's a real documentary. Rotten Tomatoes is above 85%, I believe, approval, both critics and audiences. So 4 parts. Each episode's about an hour. I thought it was really good. If you are interested in what has been one of the bigger stories in our country, legal stories in our country, over the past year or so, you won't be bored. And it also does a good job of explaining like who this guy is, where he came from, how he became what he is. And by most accounts, terrible person. Like, awful. You can't, it looks like you find a hard time finding anybody who's ever had a relationship with him or a business relationship with him who hasn't been wronged by him. Like, the world is filled with those people. Just a terrible human being. Like, even worse than you think based on what you've heard and what you've seen. Mm-hmm. Just terrible person. I know he's not going to die in prison, but that's probably where he belongs. He doesn't seem like a good guy.
I might have to dive in.
He doesn't seem like a good guy. Sean Combs' The Reckoning. It's still #1 at Netflix. 4 parts. You can find it at netflix.com.
What's the best thing we've read?
Well, I wrote about the top 25 and 1 over at CBSSports.com this morning, sort of detailing how those 4 teams with the zeros in the loss column and the net ratings above 30 at KenPom have separated from the rest of the sport. UConn's still great, but they do have that 1 loss at home. Right now, the teams that should be the top 4 in, I would argue, all human polls, it should be Arizona, Michigan, Duke, Ohio, Iowa State in some order. You can put them in any order and defend it, but those 4 teams should be at the top. You can read about that, CBSSports.com.
What's on tap for tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow will be Tuesday, so be looking back at Monday Night Football and getting ready for some NBA Cup quarterfinals.
Oh yeah, that's why we have a hiatus.
Yeah. We got to focus all of our attention on the NBA Cup for a couple days.
Okay.
And then the regular NBA returns Thursday.
Yep.
And then the Grizzlies return on Friday.
Good stuff.
All right. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to enjoy mine. We will meet back here tomorrow at 10. Till then, be careful, be kind, be good. Rep your hood.